Good afternoon, team. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our live session from Aussie Education Migration. On every Tuesday at 4 p.m., we bring you different news about Australian migration system, about Australian education system, and what are the new changes or what are the rule changes which can impact the industry as such. So today's live session is about a lot of agencies or a lot of advertisements are there in the market which market has do the 2 years course and you get a PI in Australia, do this 3 year certificate 3-4 course and you'll get a PI in Australia, do this 3 year course for $10,000 and you'll get a PI in Australia. So there's a lot of irregularities or lot of miscommunication which is there in the market. And we at Aussie Education, we thought that we need to make applicant aware that what exactly they can expect by doing this certificate 3-4 diploma or advanced diploma courses, because not all the courses are going to lead into PR pathway. Not all the courses will be eligible for PR pathway in future, and how exactly the whole system works, because it's very easy to see a catchy advertisement saying that do this course for 2 years and get the PI in Australia. PI in Australia is not something which is kept on IL6 or IL7 in Woolworths or Coles that you will just go and buy from there. Okay, people are doing bachelor's, master's courses in different streams and sitting on 85, 90, 95 points and still struggling to get anywhere near to PR. So how come these short duration courses or these 2 year courses or 3 year courses which are 10, 15, $20,000 worth in the course fee can get you PR? So what exactly the catch which is involved in this one? What exactly are the information you should be aware of, and what are the things which you should know before you start your journey towards possible PR pathway courses through WET program? So we are not going to criticize any agent, education provider, or anyone. The whole purpose of today's live session is to make sure as an applicant, as a future applicant towards a PR pathway for Australia, you should know what exactly are you going to commit for, or what exactly you are committing for, and what can be a possible outcome for you. Are you doing a right decision? Are you taking a right decision by going through this PR pathway course or not? So let's start to understand that lot of advertisement on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. Do this diploma course, you'll get a PR. Do this course, you'll get a PR. But do you really think that by doing just a diploma course, you're going to get a PR? So before you can commit for any of these courses or before you start your journey toward this WET program, you need to understand what exactly this course is going to give you. Do you understand how the point system works for GSM visas? I'm sure a lot of you who are listening this live session don't even know what GSM stand for. So it's a general skilled migration visa. Do you know that, let's say you are doing a cookery or you're doing automobile or you're doing telecommunication or you're doing a leadership and management. So what are the occupations which are attached with your studies? And do you know what point is currently required for that occupation? Do you know what is ENSGO code? Do you know how many list or what type of occupation list exists there for the future visa purposes? There's a short term list, there's a medium to long term list, there's a regional occupation list. Do you know about all those things? Do you know whether at the end of your studies what you are studying and then your nominated occupation, okay, whether it will fall under STSOL list or whether it will fall under MTSSL list? Where do you stand? Can life be that easy that you do a 1, 2, 3 years of diploma courses or certificate courses and you'll get a PR? I wish that could be the case. So before you start your journey for any of these WET courses, number one, understand what are the occupation list which are there. So understand the difference between HTSOL list, medium to long term skilled occupation list, then regional occupation list. What are the lists which are there? Then number two, let's say if you are doing a diploma, certificate 4 in commercial cookery and diploma in hospitality, then what are the occupations which are attached to this study, whether it will be cook or chef or something else. Number three, where does that occupation falls under which list? If it's a cook, it might be under HTSOL list at this moment. If it's a chef, it will go into the medium to long term list. Then how does the industry has shaped up in last 2, 3, 4 years? Because you need to understand very well that whatever course you are doing, if at the end of your course, not at the start, if at end of your course the occupation list related with your studies, if it doesn't fall under medium to long term strategic skill occupation list, then you are in trouble. Then this get a PR pathway or get a PR will be a distant dream. So you need to understand very well where exactly you are heading to, how exactly you are going towards a possible PR pathway by doing these diploma courses. Are you eligible for that one? Do you have the opportunity to get those kind of visas in the future which will make you job ready, which will make you ready for the job ready program? Can you go through a job ready program? Does your occupation falls under medium to long term list in order to go for a job ready program? All these questions needs to be answered by you, by yourself, before you commit to any diploma, advanced diploma or certificate 3, 4 courses. So it's very important to make a sound decision for a brighter future. So now let's move on from here. So whenever you are doing any of these wet courses, which are PR leading courses or PR pathway courses, or whatever it is, you need to understand that at the end of your course, basically what you're doing is you are going through a job ready program which is designed for the occupation list which fall under medium to long term list at the end of your program, to make to give you a certification, to give you the positive skill assessment that you are job ready for the Australian workplace, which will help you in applying for a GSM visas in the future. So let's say an example. For example, you want to get a skill assessment done for a cook or chef. You need to have a 3 years full-time work experience. But if you go through this certificate 4 in commercial cookery and diploma in hospitality management from a Australian CRICO registered education provider, you did your course and everything is good. You start a job ready program. Let's say successfully you have completed your job ready program. Then you get a positive skill assessment from TRA, Trade Recognition Australia, and you are eligible to apply for a GSM visa, for which normally you require 3 years of full-time work experience. So this is the advantage of doing these wet courses. So if your occupation does fall under medium to long-term strategic skill list, you are eligible for job ready program. So what you need to understand is for the job ready program, you will be only and only eligible for job ready program if you have the opportunity to apply for a visa at end of your course, okay, for a visa which gives you minimum 12 months of full work rights. So what that means is, let's say if you are in Australia, you are applying for a first time for the student visa, you are applying for these wet courses by which your occupation will fall under medium to long term strategic list, then you will be eligible for 18 months of, okay, graduate work stream visa. So post study visa you will be eligible for 18 months. So in that 18 months you will go through the job ready program which normally runs for 12 months, and you will be eligible to apply for a GSM visa on a successful outcome of your job ready program. But if you have already used your student visa option, you have already used your 485 visa option, and you don't have any more opportunity to apply for a 485 visa again as a secondary applicant, because you can only get 485 visa as a primary applicant once in your life as a primary applicant, you cannot get a 485 visa again. So let's say you came here to do bachelor degree or master's degree. You have done your bachelor master's degree, the points are too high. You have already done your 485 visa for 2 years, and you are single, you don't have opportunity to apply for a secondary visa. In that case, if you are going through this job ready program, then you will be in trouble. So please make sure that you should have a visa, okay, which gives you minimum 12 months of full-time work rights at end of your program. So if you have already used your 485 visa as a primary applicant and you don't have any option to go for a next 485 visa as a secondary applicant, or don't have eligibility to go for a uh, anything which gives you 12 months of full-time work rights in Australia, this program will be useless for you. So the question, which has been asked day for yesterday from one of our client, what will happen if I don't do job ready program? I have done my studies, I've done my certificate 4 in commercial cookery and diploma in hospitality. I'm giving example of this cookery because this is one of the hottest course in Australia at the moment. So if you don't have the 12 months full-time work rights, and if you cannot do the JRP program, then basically these studies will be useless for you in terms of possible GSM visa application for future, because you cannot get a positive skill assessment outcome just on based of your studies. You cannot get a full positive skill assessment done by TRA. So that's why it's very important to understand that what is JRP program, how will you eligible for that one, okay, have you got that particular visa after the end of your studies or towards the end of your studies or not. So all these questions has to be answered before you start the course, not after you start the course. Because if you have already used your 485 visa option, there is no possibility for secondary 485 visa application again. Then what you are going to gain by doing this course, apart from whatever the course teaches you in experience. So if your purpose is to get toward this PR pathway through this wet course, you need to understand, okay, you need to go through the job ready program. We'll come to that one in the next slides, what is job ready programs and how does it work. But the simple fact is, at the end of your studies you should have the chance of getting a visa, okay, which is valid for minimum 12 months with full work rights. So that's very important. So let's move on to the further to understand what is job ready program. So basically job ready program is a 4-stage program. It starts when you complete your wet study. So let's say you have done certificate 4 in commercial cookery and diploma in commercial cookery, or let's say you have done certificate 3 and 4 in automotive, or you have done certificate courses in carpentry or painting and all those things. I'm talking about the courses which are eligible for an occupation which is in medium to long term strategic skill list at this moment. No one knows what will happen in the future. That's also a very important consideration for you to make, that the course which you are doing, the occupation which is related to the outcome of your course should be in medium to long term strategic skill list at end of your study. Let's say you started doing cookery today. Chef is in it is in MLTSSL list at this moment. But after 1.5 2 years, when you are about to finish your studies, if chef is not there into medium and long term strategic skill list, then God bless you. Unfortunately, nothing can be done, and then you'll again try to find some other courses which can lead you towards possible PR pathway. So it's very important to understand what course you are going for, what occupation you are going for, whether it will be into MLTSSL list or not. That's very important consideration to make before start of your journey for these wet courses in a hope of getting possible PR in Australia. So the job ready program has been designed, okay, to assess your suitability for the Australian workplace and to make sure that you got a proper standard of skills and experience what is needed to work in an Austrian workplace. So the stage one is provisional skill assessment under job ready program. So basically you have completed a course where the occupation is into medium to long term list. So then you go with the stage one of the job ready program, which is provisional skills assessment. It's not a full skill assessment. It is a provisional skill assessment, which is done through TRA, Trade Recognition Australia. So purpose of this PSA, provisional skill assessment, is to verify the authenticity of your Australian education qualification, the qualification which you have done in Australia, and any previous employment or a vocational placement you have undertaken in the Austrian workplace, not the overseas. So basically, this will make sure that your education, your qualification, and your experience within Australia is up to the standard. So what are the eligibility criteria to able to apply for provisional skill assessment? You should be the primary visa holder of an international student visa for the study in Australia, not the secondary visa or primary visa holder. Okay, you have a qualification which is directly related to your occupation from a CRICOS provider in Australia, and you have completed minimum 360 hours of employment and or a vocational placement as a part of your studies. So 360 hours. So it's very important to understand, okay, that this stage one is just a provisional skill assessment. As long as your occupation is in medium to long term strategic skill list, normally 98-99% of the applicant will get through this assessment stage very easily, because this is basically is understanding that yes, you have done your course from Australia, from Australian education provider which is CRICO registered, and you have done 360 hours of work placement as a part of your studies. So let's go for the stage 2 now for the job ready program. So basically you have done the PSA. Let's move to the stage 2, which is job ready employment. Because as a part of this whole job ready program, they want to make sure that the applicant is job ready, as the name says, job ready for the Australian workplace. So the purpose of this stage 2 of job ready employment is to enable you to gain experience in an Australian workplace to further develop your skill which is relevant to your occupation. So let's say you have done cookery or you have done an automotive course. So they want to make sure that you further expand your knowledge and experience about the practical life in that occupation within Australia, that how does the Australian workplace operates in your occupation. So to be eligible for the stage 2 of job ready employment, okay, you have to have a first positive PSA outcome for the stage 1. Okay, you should be hold or have been applied for a visa. That's very important. Guys, try to understand that one. That's why I was telling you about 485 visa or any other visa. So you should hold or you have applied for a visa that has unrestricted work rights and provides sufficient time for you to complete stage 2 till stage 4 of a JRP program, which is for a minimum of 12 months. That's why I was keep repeating that if you have already utilized your 485 visa option and you don't have any option to apply for a secondary 485 visa, don't do this program. If you're looking to do this program just for the sake of future GSM visa application for PR purposes in Australia, because if you don't have a visa with full work rights for minimum of 12 months, you cannot do a JRP program. If you cannot do a JRP program, you cannot get a full skill assessment for your occupation, which falls under medium to long term strategic skill list. If it doesn't fall under medium to long term strategic skill list, you will not be eligible to apply for a GSM visa because you will not have a full skill assessment. So the whole purpose of doing any of these wet courses leading to possible PR pathway will go into the bin. So you need to understand what exactly you are committing for. Okay. So as a part of eligibility criteria for stage 2 of job ready employment is you got a positive PSA skill assessment from stage 1. You have got a visa which gives you minimum of 12 months of full work rights, and you have secured an eligible employment in your occupation, okay, that has to be assessed during your PSA anyway. Okay, so all these three criteria needs to be met before you go further with your job ready program. Minimum 12 months of visa with a full work rights. If you don't have that one, don't start any diploma, advanced diploma or certificate 3 4 courses in a hope of PR possibility for future. You cannot get a positive skill assessment, full positive skill assessment. You cannot get a positive assessment outcome for job ready program. You will not be eligible to apply for any GSM visa options. So it's very important to understand. So now let's move to stage 3 of a job ready program. Stage 3 is basically job ready work placement assessment, because TRA would like to know that okay, you are working into your occupation and you're working at a workplace which is compliant and which, like, can be positively assessed as per the Austrian standard. So purpose of this stage 3 of job ready work placement assessment is to assess your ability to work at a required skill level for your occupation in an Austrian workplace. So if you are going for a chef, or if you are going for a, let's say, automotive technician, or you're going for a telecommunication engineering technologist and all those things, it should be able to, able to be assessed at your skill level into Austrian workplace. So the eligibility for the stage 3 job ready workplace assessment is there should be evidence that you are in a paid employment for at least 863 hours for a minimum 6 months from the job ready employment start date of your occupation. So it's very important. The day you submitted your job ready employment like file, the application, from that day minimum 6 months, and has to be 863 hours. So the evidence of paid employment can be your pay slip, okay, your salary going into your bank statement, salary going into your banks or bank statement, experience letter from your employer, okay, other letter of references from your work colleagues, photos, videos, uh, Facebook post, all those things has to be, as many evidences as you can give that you have done the minimum 863 hours of work in your occupation for minimum of 6 months after you lodge your JRE ready file. Okay, so you, as a part of this eligibility criteria, you have to provide a acceptable skill progress report, employment verification report, and all other evidences, okay, which confirm that your task and duties which you are doing in your workplace. Okay, your employer has to sign the employment verification report that yes, he is an employer which is like recognized by TRA. Okay, you are working there, you are working for, minimum of these many hours per week, these are your job duties, this is a task which you are conducting. So all that thing, has to be provided as a part of eligibility criteria in an order to clear the stage 3. So you have to make sure that if you are a chef, you are working as a chef, not as a kitchen hand or not as a cook. A lot of people do get confused between the hierarchy of the different occupation. For someone, cook and chef can be very same, but actually in a hierarchy position, chef is much higher as compared to cook. So you need to understand very well what are the tasks and duties which are attached with your occupation, because if it doesn't match, you will fail the JRP program. So 863 hours for minimum of 6 months, skill progress report, employment verification report, and all other evidences of your work in a desired occupation is needed to clear the stage 3, which is job ready work placement assessment. So once you clear the stage 3, we move on to stage 4. So stage 4 is basically like final stage of job ready program, and it's the most important stage of your job ready program. So stage 4 is basically job ready final assessment, called as a JRFA. So JRWA, job ready work placement assessment outcome. That's what you call as that one. So purpose of this one is to formally recognize the completion of job ready program. So successful, completion of a job ready program will give you an opportunity, give you, you support an application for your GSM visa under 189, 190 or 491. So it gives you positive skill assessment outcome to able to go for those visa classes. So what are the eligibility in order to get the your this very coveted job ready final assessment? So you have successful job ready workplace assessment outcome. You have completed the employment requirement for a job ready employment by providing evidence of paid employment in your occupation for at least 1725 hours, 1725 hours, or a minimum of 12 months period from the start of your JRE application date. So it's very important to understand because a lot of people ask this question: will this 1725 hours can be counted from the part-time job, or it has to be full-time? So let's say you're working as a part-time or casual position in your occupation at some XYZ workplace in Australia. And let's say you are a workaholic, you're working 52 weeks a year, you're not taking any off. So even if you work for 52 weeks a year, if you divide 1725 hours by 52 weeks, it comes to, I think, 33.17 hours per week. And the definition of full time is basically 38 or 40 hours per week. So yes, it can be part time or whatever it is, but imagine working for 52 weeks for minimum of 33 hours, 33.17 hours per week. So that's why, okay, for the job ready program, you should have a visa which gives you full work rights for minimum of 12 months. Because even if you work continuously for 52 weeks a year, it needs to use 33.17 hours per week to complete 1725 hours. Let's say you are working 50, 60, 70 hours a week and you completed this 1725 hours within 6 months. Will you be able to apply for a final outcome assessment? No. You have to wait for the completion of 12 months from your JRE file. Even if you complete 1725 hours before the 12 months period, you still have to wait for 12 months. Okay. So successful outcome of job ready program supports you for all other GSM visa application which leads to the PR pathway. So before you start any of these certificate 3, 4, diploma or advanced diploma courses, you need to understand what are the occupation list which are there, what course are you going for, is it fall under medium to long term list, or is it fall under STSOL list, or what is the occupation which are related with these studies. Do you have the eligibility to able to get a 12 months visa with full work rights after completion of this course or not? Will you be able to do a job ready program or not? Okay, what are the trend within historical trend within the industry you're going with? Because it should not happen that you start a course and maybe that course is that occupation is out of the medium to long term strategic skill list. Then what will happen? All this question needs to be asked beforehand. And also when you complete the JRP program, it supports you for your GSM visa application, but still the points system is there. So if your occupation demands 75 points or 80 points, you might still need point for English, point for nati, or those kind of things. PR is not just about your studies or just about one particular aspect of your efforts. It's a combined effort of your age, English, occupation, nati, possible PY, whether you're single or married, onshore work experience, all those things counts towards PR. So whenever you want to study any wet courses, understand the full picture. Don't start your journey, okay, blindly following anyone or anyone's suggestion or anyone's that okay, do this course and you'll get this one. That's not going to lead you anywhere. As long as you can understand what is medium to long term strategic list, what occupation I fall under, what are the future for my occupation, what points, what are the points do I need in the future to able to apply for a possible PR pathway, will I be able to do a JRP program or not, how does the JRP program works. All those things if you can understand, you will do an honest and informed decision making for your future. You'll do justice to your thought process. It's your life. Nobody is going to take command of your life, or nobody is going to, like, make your life or make you go towards a, like, possible brighter side of the life, unless until you want to do that. So understand what exactly, like, things which are involved there. How come these diploma courses are in more demand compared to bachelor and masters? So there are ifs and buts attached. So understand everything about your visa, JRP program, medium to long term skill list. Everything has to be assessed very properly. Now the question, like, which we do get asked, how much this JRP program cost? What are the fees for the JRP program? So as we explained you, it's a four-stage process. You complete one stage, okay, you pay for that stage, like, at the start of the stage you pay for that one. You complete, you go to second stage, you pay for second. You go for third, you pay for third. So altogether it's approximately $2,950 plus whatever the agency wants to charge you. Okay, now any migration agent or agency, they are only involved with your first stage of JRP program. Second, third and fourth normally has to be done by the applicant only. So depend, like, how much agency wants to get involved into, how much they help you with everything. The charges for the agency does vary, but for the stage one, for the provisional skill assessment is $300, okay, which is TRA fee. For stage two, job ready employment, JRE, is $500. Stage 3, job ready workplace assessment, JRWA, is $2,000. And final job ready final assessment is $150. So it comes to approximately $2,950, unless like you fail something and there has to be review which has to be done, or reassessment which has to be done, which is normally the same fees what you pay for that stage. Okay, so pay for the stage, go through the process. Once you do done through that one, pay for the second stage. So before you start your course to do any like these wet courses, understand requirement for each and every stage of JRP program, understand your visa subclasses, understand what occupation list you fall under, what are the occupations which are attached, and whether you can gain the employment into your occupation within Australia or not, because you have to do 1725 hours after completion of your studies, okay, for minimum of 12 months. So all those things, if you can understand, you are on the future pathway for PR in Australia. But if you don't understand this, and if you blindly jump into something by looking into flashy advertisements, there might be a big hole for future which you might not able to come out from. So make sure you understand what are the courses, what are the occupation list and everything. If you're in doubt, contact our offices. Our team is ready to help you with each and everything. If you're in Australia, give a call to us on 0406 107 107. If you're in India, it's 9100 107 107. If it's Nepal, it's 9851 107 107. If you cannot get to us through phone calls, okay, send a message on WhatsApp, LinkedIn, YouTube. Okay, you can send an email to us, info@aussieeducation.com.au. Okay, through various channels, various medias, Facebook. We are accessible. We are available everywhere. We might not able to get back to you straight away, but our team will contact you back for sure. Very important lesson of this live session is understand what exactly you are going to do, understand your visa possibilities for future, understand how the JRP program works, and why this studies will lead you for a future PR pathway after your completion of your studies. If you can understand all those things, you will take an informed decision about your life, about your career, your future, and your family. We are here to help. Aussie Education and his family is here to help you. Please contact us whenever you would like. Happy to help. Thank you, and hope this session will help you in deciding a proper pathway for your future. Thank you.